I have received another request to do a video on a very particular topic. So the situation for this person is that there is a friend of a friend who has now more than once invited themselves over to this person's home. The first time this person showed up, the individual said to them, "I'm sorry, I'm busy, you can't come in now." The second time, however, the individual decided to let the person in, who then decided to stay far past their welcome and ignored social cues. Now, how the request was framed was that the person is looking for attention that they're unwilling or unable to give to themselves. So, how do you get someone to leave who has stayed past their welcome? Now, in this is a very specific situation. So in this particular situation, obviously we're dealing with a person who is going through things. This individual is looking for something, and they're looking for that something within other people. So bear that in mind, and remember not to be cruel to someone who is at a point in their lives where they're having a tough time. Yes, we may not be able to understand what someone else is going through, especially if it's something we haven't gone through ourselves. What's important is we do not judge them for what they're going through. It is something that is very real for them. Doesn't matter that we might not understand. Okay, so I want to make it very clear that even though this is a very irritating kind of situation, you might get frustrated with the person. Don't take that frustration out on them, because especially in a vulnerable state like that, it may do a lot more damage than what it might do at any other time with any other person. So, how do we deal with this situation in a way where we're not causing damage to someone who's in a difficult spot in their lives, but we're being clear and we're having the desired effect? Well, there are a whole lot of different ways that you can approach this, and at the end of the day, every situation is going to be different and every person is going to be different. So I'm going to give a few ideas of what I would try, but if you're facing a similar situation, you're going to need to find something that works for you, for that person, for that moment in time. So unfortunately, I do not have all the answers. I have some ideas. So one approach, which not everyone would be necessarily comfortable with taking, though might yield some pretty cool results for the person who is encroaching themselves on your life, is to be very focused on them, on why they're here. Let me give you an example. So say someone has come into my home and they've invited themselves, and I've said, okay, sure, stay for a while. And now it's getting to a point where I have things to do, I need them to leave. One thing that I might try is to start asking them questions like, why are you here? Why did you decide to come to my house? What is it that you're looking for from me? What is it that you feel that you're missing? What are you experiencing in your life right now? What are you facing? What are the challenges that you're having? So you essentially make it all about them and ask them very clear, very direct questions that cut straight to the chase of them being there, of their choice to come to you to look for this something that they are missing. So that's one approach. If you're comfortable to try it, give it a try. Maybe it supports you as much as it has the potential to support the other person. Remember that anything that we try has the opportunity for us to learn from. We're either learning about ourselves, or we're learning about another person, or we're learning about the mind and how people function. So keep that in the back of your mind in everything that you do, and every experience becomes a learning experience and an opportunity to grow. Another thing that you can try is to be very simple, very clear, very direct, to create a set of boundaries. So say if someone shows up at your house and you choose to let them in, you say you can create boundaries of time, for example. Say, okay, you may come in, however, at this time I need you to leave because I have things to do. And you enforce those boundaries. So when that time comes, regardless of whatever they try to do to stay longer, enforce the boundaries. Say, no, I'm sorry, I need you to leave now, please. I do have things to do. I can't do them while you're here. Please go. Simple, impersonal, direct, to the point. Nothing more, nothing less. You don't have to give reasons. We have this tendency of wanting to explain everything that we explain, our motivations all over the place for everything that we do. It's like this intense fear of being misunderstood or misinterpreted, or of someone assuming that we're doing something for reasons other than the truth, or reasons other than why we actually are doing them. So some situations, the simplest solution is to just set some boundaries, and you don't need to give any reasons. If you want to explain yourself, then do so. Sometimes, though, explaining ourselves can open up room for argumentation, especially in those situations where our reasons are not so strong. So, be careful of wanting to over-explain yourself, or if you do give an explanation, make sure that it's one that you can stand by no matter what the other person says. So if they try and convince you that it's not a good enough reason, make sure that you can stand by it regardless of what they say, to try and persuade you or dissuade you. All right. If the person keeps coming to you, coming into your space, it's up to you if you want to take on the challenge / opportunity of having them in your life. Because obviously if they keep coming to you, they're finding something within you that they're looking for. So if you decide to allow them to keep coming into your space in your life, then see how you can support them. See if there is something that you can do to empower them, to help them to empower themselves. Maybe you make a difference for this one person, or maybe you learn something that you can apply later in life. At the end of the day, it's up to each one of us to determine what we are willing and are not willing to do. So if you are not willing or not able to support someone in this kind of situation, then be clear about that and enforce that. So if you're not willing to allow them into your space, simply say so, and don't create situations where they are going to hope or expect for you to change your mind. So be clear, be honest, be direct. Don't be cruel. All right. If you have any questions on this point, or if there are dimensions that I didn't cover that you would like me to cover, then send a message or leave a comment and I will do a video for you. If you would like to support me, you can do so on Patreon. Alternatively, you can also find me on Steemit, where you can donate Steam dollars to me, which is a cryptocurrency. And yeah, basically that's another option that I'm going to start using. So thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.